welcome to Smokey Reacts. I'm your boy Jurnalist, and on this one, I wanted to check out some videos from a YouTube channel called Historical Africa. The reason being is because they have made a YouTube channel comprised of pretty much a bunch of stuff I don't know shit about, because they ain't teaching none of this shit in America. So I figure I'm already reacting to stuff. Might as well throw this in there too. Two birds, one stone, especially because we do cover a lot of African artists on the channel already. So if anybody has more details or can give me anything that may be wrong in this video or any videos that I do in the future, then that would be very helpful. Plus, I feel like there is cultural details or facts and stuff from over there that I'm just not going to be able to get from this video that would be able to be provided to me in the comment section as well. So I'm hoping that the comment section of these videos do well, more so than anything else, because if there are things that are left out in these videos, I really would like to know, because again, I am a history guy. They ain't teach us none of this stuff in America. So best way that I find or learn any of the history from the continent is really through YouTube or stuff that I just actually go out and look at. So besides that, it's my best source. But now I have the comment section and an ability to kind of like communicate with you guys about things that happen over there that they're just not telling us over here. So that was my thinking behind all this. So anybody that does watch these, I truly do appreciate it. Yeah. If you could please hit that like and subscribe if this is your first time on the channel or if you have not already. And yeah, let's get into this one. And I really do thank you for joining me on these, because this is kind of like the garage stuff. I'm really here just trying to learn and then be able to ask questions and hopefully get answers in the comment section. It's really what we're here for. I'm not focused on nothing else. So if this is not something you're willing to do or want to sit through, we got other videos on the channel. But this is for sure going to be, I'm trying to learn a history that I have not been taught. That's about it. So yeah, let's get into this, and thank you again for joining me. Oh yeah, I forgot to say why I picked this one. This man looks young as hell. You can't see me touching the screen, but he looks so young. And I've never heard of this man in my goddamn life. I'm like, this is a great place to start. Great place to start. Why don't I know this individual? What did he do that they did not want me to learn about? Is how I feel when I see shit like this. So, and it's from Sierra Leone apparently. So yeah, I don't know nothing about that really, except fucking that Kanye record, and then Diamonds. Well, that's the Kanye record, but like Diamonds do also come from Sierra Leone.
This is the story of Valentine Strasser from Sierra Leone, who at the age of 25 found himself as the newly installed leader of a nation of 4 million people and the commander-in-chief of a fractious and improvised army. He and his gang seized power in a military coup in 1992, and Strasser ruled for 4 years until he was disposed, as you would have probably guessed by now, via a coup. How this 25 years old came to be a head of state is unusual, even by the experience of Africa dictatorships.
25. He could be stepping into his prime or just becoming really good in any top athletic sport in the world, but is the leader of a fucking country. And what the fuck? You tell a little nigga like this, I see why. I could just tell just off of this. You're telling me I could lead people by 25? If you had told me that shit when I was a little nigga, it'd be dark outside for niggas. Imagine if a bunch of little niggas just was like, wait, you tell me by the time I'm 25 I could do some things? What?
In this episode of Historical Africa, we look at Valentine Strasser's rise to executive power. If you are new to this channel, kindly click on the subscription button and turn on notification so you would not miss posts like this one. Valentine Strasser was born on the 26th of April 1967. in Freetown, the capital of Sierra Leone. Strasser grew up in the neighborhood of Allentown in the extreme east end of Freetown. He completed his secondary education at the Sierra Leone Grammar School in Freetown and graduated in 1985 at the age of 18. Upon graduating from secondary school in 1985, he enlisted in the Republic of Sierra Leone military forces and he was deployed for military training as a cadet officer at the Benguama Military Training Academy in Benguama, a town located outside Freetown. At this stage, he had probably never imagined that at some point he would become the world's youngest president. After his training, he was commissioned into Sierra Leone Army at the age of 19. Strasser was then posted to military barracks in the eastern part of Sierra Leone. As an army, Valentine Strasser was sent to Sierra as part of a regional peacekeeping mission called ECOMOG. Civil war had broken out there in 1989, and in 1991, ECOMOG was attempting to secure law and order in the capital of Liberia, Monrovia. After 7 months in Liberia, Strasser returned home to Sierra Leone, but the war followed him. In 1991, rebel fighters crossed over from Liberia into the remote eastern part of Sierra Leone. The incursion of as many of 2,000 men, most of whom were on loan from the Liberian warlord Charles Taylor, marks the beginning of Sierra Leone's decade-long conflict.
Who's this guy? How you got 2,000 niggas to loan a nigga? What the fuck is going on? How you got 2,000 niggas to loan a nigga? What?
Upon his return from Liberia, Strasser joined a unit that was fighting this rebel incursion that was occurring in the east. However, the conditions for the government troops were wretched. Logistic support was poor, supplies of weapons and ammunition were limited, and they were kept in poor condition. Strasser and other officers began plotting a coup on the 29th April 1992. They launched Operation Daybreak, raiding the office of the president in central Freetown, as well as the lavish oil presidential load of spare roads in the west end of the city. They found the then president, Joseph Momo, hiding in the bathroom. He was then bundled into an army helicopter and taken over the border to Guinea. From series of events, Valentine Strasser emerged as the public face of the uprising, in part because of his language skills. He spoke English well enough to read out a statement on the radio. As a captain, he was also of a higher rank than his co-conspirators. Some argue too that Strasser got the top position because those around him felt that he could be manipulated easily, and just like that, it became the world's youngest head of state. In early days, Captain Strasser was very popular. There was promises of fresh start for Sierra Leone after more than 2 decades of corrupt government. Most people of Sierra Leone welcomed Strasser regime, and he was referred to as a messiah. His fellow junta members have planned to install a functioning democracy. The soldiers also launched a cleanup program to rid the streets of Sierra Leone. Gas and electricity were once again available. The new rulers of Sierra Leone called themselves the National Provisional Ruling Council, the NPRC. Strasser was the council's chairman who was barely 22 years old. For all the jubilations that was occurring after the coup, there was still a war to fight out in the bush. The army continued fighting the rebels. During Strasser's administration, the civil war escalated, with the rebels increasing the amount of territory under their control, including lucrative diamond mines, which were the source of the blood diamonds used to fund their activities. There were also disturbing reports of atrocities committed against the civilian population, not only the rebels, also by the government troops. During the war, civilians were subjected to horrific acts of humiliation, including their hands and hair cut off. Incidents of rape and forced labor were rampant, and many civilians were used as unwilling human shields or held as a prisoner and subjected to repeated acts of sexual violence by the combatants. Forced conscriptions into the army was persuasive and made many civilians unwilling participants in the conflicts. Meanwhile, back in Freetown, Strasser and his gang really put on a show. From the onset, their rule was marked with kind of behaviors that you would expect from leaders at their age bracket. They attended government meetings in sunglasses and sharply cut suits. On the occasion, Strasser addresses a state funeral in the National Cathedral while wearing his sunglasses. On another occasion, he turned up to Commonwealth Summit in Cyprus, during which Sierra Leone's return to democracy was a key discussion point. At this summit, he was wearing a t-shirt with the following words written, "Sunny days in Cyprus." While there, he was reportedly too shy to attend the proposed meeting with Queen Elizabeth. But all in all, life seemed good for Strasser and his friends. In January of 1966, just a few weeks before a proposed presidential election, Valentine Strasser went to a routine government meeting that was also attended by his second in command, Julius Maada. According to his own retelling of the story, he entered the meeting room without his armed security detailed. So there was nothing he could do when Julius Maada drew a gun from under the table and pointed it at Valentine Strasser. Strasser was bundled like his predecessor had been into a helicopter and flown to neighboring Guinea. It is said that what motivated this coup against Strasser was the fear that he would not transfer power to a civilian government as originally promised. Strasser's successor was the leader of the second coup, Julius Maada. He is the current president of Sierra Leone. This new leader was still only in his early 30s, but unfortunately the story of Africa's youngest president does not end here. What would follow of Valentine Strasser after him being disposed from power would be a series of sad events that would lead him to being driven to abject poverty. Immediately after the coup, United Nations anxiously want to get Strasser out of West Africa. They arrange him to study at Warwick University in the UK, where he will be studying law. Unfortunately for him, while in the UK, he was treated with great disdain, though his rule was unremarkable according to
The Vagabond King, Jesus Christ.
African dictator standards. British newspaper ran scanty headlines calling him the butcher of Sierra Leone. For reason unknown, he stopped his studies after a year and went to London, where other Sierra Leoneans held abuse at him in nightclubs. Already his wife had left him and he became a roaming nomad, wandering from place to place in search of souls. He left for the Gambia in the year 2000, only to have his entry to the country denied. That same year, he returned to Sierra Leone and moved back home to live with his mother, where he was reportedly living in a rather poor life not expected of a retired leader. In January 2019, Valentine Strasser fell ill and flown to Ghana for treatment. He has returned to Sierra Leone since then. In July 2021, President Madabao gifted Strasser a new house in Freetown and some monetary gift. Thank you for tuning into our channel.
Yeah, that's a crazy story. I've never even heard of this man. What the fuck? Don't teach us shit about Sierra Leone there. You're gonna have to go to a college course or have an amazing history teacher in your primary and high school years. Otherwise, you gotta go to college or university. And as I tell you guys, college and university in America can be the same fucking thing, depending on what you go to. So it's not like in the UK where secondary school starts and that's college. No, secondary school is high school, and then fucking college is fucking at 16. Fucking, that's crazy. An American child going to school at 16. That's newsworthy. I'd like to point that out. That's not some shit that's just standard. Oh my god, that's crazy. But yeah, this is just information that I just was trying to learn. If you guys can give me more context or stories or anything, or hey, there's somebody from Sierra Leone who's fucking watching the channel, shout out to you, one. But two, if you have any personal experience or anything that you'd like to tell me about this, I would love to fucking read about it. But yeah, thank you guys for checking these out. If you guys don't mind, I'll probably be dropping more of these because this is just, hey, like I said, it's just information I never got to know. And then shit, maybe there's other people that don't get to know it either, and we can spread it further. We learn a thing or two because I had no idea who the fuck Valentine Strasser was or anything. It's crazy. 22 to 25, I'm fucking ruling a country with people. Installed puppet government or not, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, that'd be it for me on this one. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.